There is nothing which is wrong with the country that a new government cannot fix. It is time for a new start, a fresh beginning, new direction, people-centered leadership. That's why Team Unity Dominica introduces the Clean Slate, a new political direction for the current political era. The Clean Slate, an idea built on new and progressive energies based on what is best for Dominica and Dominicans. The Clean Slate, the platform for a new and progressive political coalition. The Clean Slate, uniting the partisan colors with a message of renewal and hope.
Good night, family and friends, viewers across the world. Welcome to another Tuesday Live with the Team Unity, our Clean Slate campaign program. And I am Petra Carbon George, and tonight we also have Mr. Carlos Charles with us. Mr. Charles, how are you this evening?
I'm here, Petra. Today's a Tuesday, and it already feels like it's been a long week for me. But I'm here, holding on.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice.
Giving thanks in the beautiful island of Dominica. Yes.
Okay. It's nice. It's nice to have you here with me as well. Today is I think today is Men's Day. So happy Father's or Men's Day it was today.
Men's Day.
Happy Men's Day to you and those who are listening. We really need our fathers. Our fathers are the foundation of our family. So, a lot of times people put so much emphasis on the moms. So today I'm glad it was a day that we could recognize the men in our lives, in our community, and let them know that we still need them. They're important to us. And so that's to you and those who are listening.
Yes, thank you, Petra. And I also just want to give, while you're at it, give a shout out to the ladies of the business community women. I can't remember the exact name of the group, but they recognize a lot of men around Dominica, and I just want to give them a big up for that. I'm especially happy that they recognize my friend, Mr. Thomas Watch, better known as June of World Trucking fame, Speedy Recovery, as one of the men in the heavy equipment business. I'm happy that they did that. And of course, the other men in society. I see. Okay, I can't remember his name, but I know he has been a civil servant for many years. Way back when your deceased uncle was Minister of Public Works, he was a junior staff in his department. But I think he moved on to another department right now. But yeah, so this is nice that men are being recognized, although
Definitely.
it's not frequent. It's not frequent, but at least it's happening. So
Yeah,
big up
it's
to the men, big
happening.
up to the fathers. I hope you all are good. I hope the women treated everybody nicely and everybody all right.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do nothing for I didn't do anything today for anybody, to be honest. I just wish them happy Men's Day, and that was it. Nothing special. I guess next
Okay.
year we'll plan something for them.
Okay. I look forward to you doing spearheading that, Petra. Hold you to that, and I know GS is watching, and you will remind you said that.
Yes. I listen. I am one person who down. I think the fathers are not being recognized enough. Um, and so I all for it. I believe the father is the foundation of every household, every family, every community. And
Mhm.
so it's always a pleasure when we have men that are active in the lives of their family, in the lives of communities, and so we always have to let them know that we appreciate them, because sometimes they go unappreciated. People don't
Right.
appreciate them, show their appreciation so much, but definitely something we want to incorporate in the TUD, to make sure we put some time aside to appreciate men.
Right.
So apart from that, let us just give I would like to say good evening to our queen, Miss Eva, our little princess out there in Kalibishi. We appreciate you, Miss Eva. We always pray and trust that your things are going okay on your end. I'm not sure if Mr. Charles had any recent communication with you, but we are always in our thoughts and in our prayers.
Over the past 2 weeks, I haven't, but I will be touching base with them very soon.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so this evening, what we have on our table, we are going to speak about why we chose to be part of the political movement in Dominica, and why we choose to represent the people in Dominica. So, Mr. Charles, I'm going to ask you that question. I know you are one of the founders of TUD. What caused you to, push for having this new party, Team Unity Dominica?
Okay, so I've never been political in my life. I've always been apolitical, meaning I don't never really lean left or right or center. My focus has always been about living my life as best as I can, enjoying myself in my country, and developing myself, my family, and those around me. Making sure that we have the best opportunity to compete in this global environment. And over the years, I've been paying attention, especially as I grew older. I've been paying attention to what the country, the world, and so on. And to me, something was lacking.
Okay.
I talked to persons on both sides of the political divide. Note what I said, the political divide.
Yeah.
Because by using that word, I'm just letting you know how I saw things from since back then. The way divided, and everybody pulling to a different side. Now I took more interest in things getting better, and I've been trying to make recommendations to both persons, both entities, through the various representation that they have. And I never saw the results that I expected, and persons around me were saying similar things to what I was saying.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, hey, if you guys are refusing to do what we obviously want you to do, what should come naturally to you, and what should be easy for you to do, then probably a few of us need to step up and do things differently. So this is why I reached out to Bruno, Alex. I reached out to him, and with a few friends of mine, we decided that Dominica needs to be different, and we're throwing our names out there, putting our hands up to say, hey, we're tired of what is going on, and we want to see something different. You see, now, Petra, what really pissed me off is one of an experience that my brother went through.
Okay.
And he I did not go into details, but he did not get a fair chance to be an active participant in the country. and providing a service that he was providing. So I say, if everything is so blatantly politically divided, we need something different to show people different and to treat people differently. So this is why I put my hand up and I say, hey, we need to do something differently. Not to create opportunity for my brother, so to speak, but to make
But for
sure
those,
but to make sure that I be able to represent all those who would be similar like me, him, and others.
yeah.
You never have to worry about that anymore. What about you?
Oh, me, for me, the reason why I was never into politics. I love politics, but I was never into it. I believe that I thought that the people who were representing us could have done more.
Hmm.
And so, like you, having this concern as well, seeing people not moving in the right direction, and Dominica could have been much better. I decided, you know what, I will take part in the political arena. And so I was looking for persons as well who had similar interests with mine. And I found a lot of people. I'm not going to call out names. I found a lot of people with the same interests, but one of the things that's happened is that they were afraid to have their names out there, because of victimization and all that. And they work in the public sector, and even those who work in the private sector too. They were afraid that, people might not patronize them if they put their names out there and so forth. And so I decided, you know what, I will be the voice for those who cannot speak because they are afraid of victimization. And so I came into the political arena, and I'm here to represent the people of Dominica. I feel that we can do so much more than what is happening right now. And having the right people to push the right things can change anything in Dominica. And that is why I'm here, to help make Dominica a better place, a place where people can have that spending power that they dream of and that they think of and that they know that would make their lives better and to help improve the life of our people. So that is why I'm here as well, to be a voice for the people.
I look at how things are, and I know that there is so much more that we can do to improve the lives of the people in Dominica, not just them, but even for ourselves.
Yeah,
Not like I want to enter politics to make money for myself. Obviously, you being a
we'll get
representative,
paid.
you get paid for it. But the blatant things that we see happening around the country, that is a thing that a lot of us are seeing and would like to see things happen a lot differently. I would not go accusing people without having obvious evidence of certain things, but
Yeah.
I would
One
not
of the
use.
questions people ask me is why I chose to be with Team Unity.
Yeah,
They ask
yeah.
me that, why I
Why?
chose to be with Team Unity.
Yes. White immunity, Petra.
I love everybody. I love the other parties. I think they have good potential, but Team Unity is how would I put it? Let me see how would I put it properly to not to offend anybody. It's more a neutral stance for me. It does not come with all that chaos and confusion. For example, Mr. Carlos Charles is new in Team Unity. He have not been branded as anything as yet because he have never taken active part in politics before, other than 2022 when he went to the last election.
Yes.
So you have never held office before. So it's like a baby party.
Right.
There is no you cannot tarnish something that just started. Some of the people in Dominica, I have a friend that told me, "Oh, why everybody want to start a new party when it already have parties that are established?" But I'm saying, I told the person, and I'm going to say it there: if you here for 24 years, if you have a baby and the baby is 24 years and the baby is still a baby, you would have a problem with that. Everybody would know that the baby have a deformity because the baby still remains a baby. And so
Mm.
is everything else. If something is not growing, then it makes no sense to become part of it when you want to change something. So that is one of the reasons that I am with Team Unity. And I love my other people. Um, I have all my friends I have a lot of friends in the other party as well. And I appreciate what they're doing. I know that together we can do great things if we put our minds together and if we join together. They work in a different department as me. We work in a different department. Like every organizations, there are different departments. There's the operations department. There's the shipping department. If you're looking like for port, there is the accounting department, and we are just in a different department trying to do the same thing, trying to bring Dominica to the next level. So, Mr. Charles, while you're on here, what are some of the things that you would like to bring on the table, or some of the things that you think your expertise that would change the narrative of what is happening in Dominica?
I say, for one, like the name State Unity, my focus and mantra would be bringing people together. So instead of instead of being so divided on so many issues, we can come together on both sides and for the purposes of fixing Dominica. After Dominica is fixed, everybody can go back to what they decide to do originally. But for now, Dominica needs something different. Dominica needs a radical change,
Yeah.
and but not so radical as in to our detriment. And we are providing that platform for the community movement to do exactly that. That was the premise on which community was founded. As a matter of fact, as part of our founding principles, we had no intention for the party to live on forever like the previously existed parties. Of course,
Okay.
if the demand is there by the people, the door is open for discussion in that regard. But I, Carlos, had no intentions of being involved in politics forever.
Okay.
I like what I do. Scratch that. I love what I do. I love to be down on the ground, get getting involved in the stuff that I'm involved in. Right now I do some work in the corporate world. Um, but I still love to do my events. I still love to meet my I'm doing some management for an artist right now, and I do a lot of stuff, and I would love to do a lot more of those things. But the environment in Dominica makes it difficult for persons such as myself and others to thrive. It makes it harder for business people to make money in a lot of sectors. There's no reason
Okay.
why we have to be importing labor and equipment and exporting the money on some of the biggest infrastructure work that we have going on in the country right now. And we have the people right here who, be it that they may be unable to do it at this time, but you empower them to be able to do those things so that you develop those sectors. When time moves on and those projects are done, And if the private sector wants to do, someone in the private sector wants to develop so a big infrastructural project, a lot of those companies may not be there. They may want to
Yeah.
work with the locals. And if you empower your locals, you grow the various sectors that they are attached to. And not only that, you create money circulating in the local economy.
Okay. So if you had, if you have the opportunity now, so
I'll
as you
see.
have the opportunity now, yeah,
Mhm.
the opportunity now, what are some of the ways that you think that you could impact the lives of our people in Dominica, with the current situation right now?
Okay. We first off we have a CBI program that is grossly mismanaged. Um, you can tell through the reports in the media, you can tell through the way stuff is implemented, and I need not go too much into that because these are things that everybody knows. So I need not dwell on that. Besides, Team Unity is a solution oriented entity. First off, we would ensure that those monies that are raised from our blood, which is our passport, is our own. Everybody,
Yeah.
every Dominican has a right to it. These monies would be placed in areas where they would be income generating. So
Yeah.
yes, you can have some money for rainy days, but you also need to look to see how you can add value to your local economy. You need to create industries. You need to make sure that our agricultural sector to a certain level. You need to make sure that if we say we're doing tourism, we have to spend aggressively on marketing. We
Yeah.
has There are so many things that we can be doing and we can do differently, contrary to what is currently being done. We need to invest more in our fishing. We need to invest more. I mean, yes, we can build an airport, but if you build an airport, you build an airport and you don't have anything for people to come to do.
Exactly.
Why are the airlines going to come? Yes, you build an airport it'll become a white elephant. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a nice thing. They'll come and use it for the begin with, but at the end of the day, it's about dollars and cents for those big businesses. So when you create those opportunities, there are countries where the flights are very expensive, and
Yeah.
people still flock over to them. There are countries where the access to those countries are a lot more difficult. It's a lot more difficult than the access we have to Dominica. Yet they still have a thriving tourism industry. Persons
Yeah.
coming and their stay over is way out there. So what we need to do are those kind of things, create the environment for people to want to come back. And it's very easy for us. We have the
Yeah.
sun, sea, sand, and water.
Yes, I agree with you on this. I believe that we need to rebrand Dominica. Um, for me, rebranding Dominica as a oasis, health and wellness oasis would be best, because the food that we eat, the food that we grow, the whole Caribbean will tell you we have a great agricultural soil. Our soil is very, very good, and everybody I speak to say that Dominica has one of the best soil in the Caribbean. And so we need to rebrand Dominica. We need to make people come to Dominica, want to come to Dominica. We have to make it more accessible. And yes, building the airport would be nice, but um, two, we have to also take into consideration the expenditures that goes with that size of the airport, and if we will be able to sustain or maintain the airport with the flights that we think that will come in if we don't market the place. So we have to rebrand Dominica and into some oasis that people over the world can come and see. Hey, when I go to Dominica, I'm relaxed, I'm rejuvenated, I feel that renewed to go on and to go on and to go on. So we really need to work. It's not just building infrastructure. We all have to market. And another thing I see, yes, we build an airport, but we need technical people to maintain the airport as well. We cannot import people to come to work to Dominica. I mean, we should have thought of that as well. We should have send people to study in every aspect.
How many years since we started building that airport, and now we just had the groundbreaking a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Right. So it's been a couple of years since
we're speaking about it. Yeah.
And the airport has been
years. And I think that we should have thought about sending people to specialize in certain fields that would be necessary to have the operations going. Like we cannot import labor to work in our airport. We should have send people to study in different fields, aviation, mechanics, or if we have people in Dominica already, we should have them send them to study specialize.
Upgrade their skills. And we do have some talented persons here.
Exactly.
Albeit with the limited resources that we have available for us, we have some talented persons here who have been doing very well. I know this young man who is doing a lot of work for the various companies. He's very good at that. The generators, the GPUs. You know those things you connect to the aircraft to power the aircraft while it's on the ground.
Yeah.
All those things, the guys repair those things in Dominica.
We don't have Dominicans who. I have a friend of mine in Totola. That's what he does. And he's been doing it for more than 15 years. And I know that he would love to come to Dominica. He would love to come back to Dominica. So we TUD, I know our plan is to incorporate as much as the diasporans as we can to have them come back home to use their skills and use their whatever they have, their specialty to develop our country. Because one of the things I realize is that our human resources are leaving, and a place without human resources is very dangerous. We don't want to become that country where every top position we have to get somebody from the outside to come to manage it. And so bringing back our people to team unity is very, very important. And we had the funds to do so based on the reports from the government, the present government. If you read the reports, the annual reports, you'll see the amount of monies that was made in the passport. So we know that there were funds available to have this type of program. So this is some of the things that I think we would want to look at in the future when we get into office. And people say, oh, how are you going to get into office? Well, we are trying to change the mindset of the people, because there's a saying that goes, if you do the same thing, the definition for insanity.
If you do the same thing all the time, expecting
different result, then you are insane.
That's the definition of insanity.
That's right.
So Petra, I look at the options that are available to Dominicans at the time where we decided to start Team Unity, and I decided no, there's no way that we can continue going along that road forever and ever to eternity.
I know.
This is why I decided to put my hand up, and put my hat in the ring to say, hey, I want to fight for my country. I believe that we can do something better. And I see we have a question from a viewer named Princess Bonita. She's asking which programs currently being executed by the ruling government would you continue to build on? For sure, I would revamp
The
the
NEP.
national employment program.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's a
in
good
my view,
program.
in my view right now it's being done badly, and it's more used as a catch-up vote program,
Yeah,
and
it should be used to give
it should be done
experience
what it was originally intended. So
intended. Yeah,
so for one, companies need to actually hire
the
persons.
persons after the
No,
training period
no,
is
no.
over,
Even before the
based on the
training.
person capacity. Yeah,
Yes, not before the end of the program. So it could be, albeit on a temporary process, but government could now assist the programs, the program by not directly spending money for to employ those persons, but it could be looked at through a tax subsidy. So
yeah,
to justify the person you taking on somebody else, and it's be albeit on a training and trial basis, you get a tax rebate for that to cover the person's salary, and the person has to be actively employed in your enterprise and actually doing work, and
yeah. Because
you have a period in which to have the person on a trial basis, and afterwards the person becomes permanent.
yeah,
But the economy itself has to be able to sustain those various businesses. So you have to
exactly.
create work, business, big money turn in the local economy. So the hairdresser can afford to keep a business open,
Yeah,
because because Danger Dane and Miguel Labadie will do more events every month, and more people want to go and do their hair.
exactly.
Fellas want to buy more clothes for them to go out, so the Levi's store will make more money. You understand? So these
Yeah,
these are the things we would like to look. Yes, they're doing some things in the agricultural sector, but we want to do it more aggressively. We want to
yeah. We want to
repair
get in
all
markets.
those feeder roads. We want to focus, and Petra is currently doing that. We get more markets for the
For people.
agricultural produce.
Yeah,
I was on the harbor in Portsmouth recently, and it was amazing to see. It was like to behold the produce going out and loading on those vessels to go out. But this needs to be done on a higher standard, so that money can
on a
come back.
larger scale.
That money can come back into Dominica and circulate in the
That's
country,
right.
so people can take that money and send their children to school without having
And
to
then to come on the
depend.
government, rely on the government to pay
Voila,
tuitions.
voila.
So
Because
it
we, I,
is the burden of the government when you get the people to sustain themselves financially. So you, the government, you have to open avenues for the people so that they will be able to be financially dependent on themselves. And yeah, I think the NEP program is a great program, as you say, Mr. Charles. One of the things when I was young, like when I just finished school and you apply for jobs, one of the things that people would tell you is that you need to gain experience. So,
experience.
like you were saying, the NEP program should be used to help people to gain experience from like a transition from school to the workplace. So by the
Correct.
time you finish that, maybe if it's 2 years or a year training program under the NEP, you are marketable. You are more marketable because you already gained some experience. And whether it's in that same place or in a different area that you want to venture, you already have that type of experience. So it would be better for you, make you more marketable. And I think that program would be a great program for helping students to transition into the workforce, if
But it
used
has to be
correctly.
done properly.
That's
Has
right.
to be done
Have
properly.
to be done properly so you could
So,
reap the benefits from it.
so Princess Bonita, these are just two areas that of a few areas that we would like to see things being done differently, and we would do differently. Of course, things are being done. We cannot say that the government is not doing anything. Looking at the health sector, yes, they have built a lot of buildings. But guess what? A couple days ago, yesterday, there was a bad accident in Point Wrong.
Yeah, and the firemen did not have the equipment.
Firemen didn't have a basic jaws of life to save the guy. They were using a crowbar and rope.
Yeah.
so I mean, these are just basic things.
Yeah. Our priorities need to be
in the right places.
Yeah.
The right places.
And these are some of the things that communities look into too. That's why we want to be there, and we want the people to understand, hey, we need to change things around. Community is willing to prioritize things that need to be prioritized and get things going where everybody can feel safe. It's crazy because I mean, like yesterday, when I almost cried because I'm like, this life could be saved so easily had we have the correct equipment on site.
Petra, I couldn't look at the video. I could not look at the video. It came to my phone multiple times. I couldn't look at it. I depended on the description given to me by other persons, because after the description and hearing how the guy was
suffering,
agony,
yeah,
I couldn't look at that. I'm going to give out some information there. I am in my early 40s, right? I remember as a child the Kinfield Airport being a fully lit runway. Now, mark you, there were concerns or various concerns about the airport, but this was the airport that I left from to travel internationally, and a lot of persons did that. This was the airport that was being used, but that was used to save my brother's life when he was suffering from an ailment, and he had to be flown overseas. We decide, for whatever reason, that the lights were removed from the Kinfield Airport to power up what was then known as the Melville Airport.
Yeah.
And then you leave Kinfield abandoned. So much to say that when certain people have to travel, they're using vehicle lights, transport lights. Now I'm a Kinfield man. I live practically all my life above the Kinfield Airport, so wow. I know I've seen that on multiple occasions, to light up the runway so that a plane can land or take off in the night.
Oh wow!
But we know those things, and we now come in shouting "Hip hip hooray!" Night landing has finally been implemented in Dominica. We installed it. No, it was there before under Mary Eugenia Charles and Aline Carbon and the previous manager of the airport, Don Corriette. I know all of them. This was there. You removed it, and instead of growing what you already have, you kill what you have to try and create a show. And then what happened out of it? Nothing. American Airlines came for a while, they stopped, and then you had to do more improvement to the now Douglas Charles Airport to ensure that it is safe for them to land. When you could have kept what's going on in Kinfield.
Well, I think one of the reasons they said was the runway was too short for the bigger aircraft.
Wait,
and so they wanted to use Kinfield. Kinfield
was extended, and there was also plans to extend it further.
Okay.
So that's how much I need. It where it is right now, it was extended during its lifetime, and there were plans to extend it further. I'm not saying that should be the focus, but as it is, it is sufficient, especially for emergency cases. because you
Especially it's
never,
close to the hospital. It's closer to the
voila,
hospital, the main
voila,
hospital.
that's
And
exactly where
so
I'm going.
yes, it's closer to the main hospital. So if you have an emergency, the person can be airlifted at a shorter period of time than having to travel all the way to Marigot, to
Voila.
the So
So this,
yes, we
so
have to look things at all in all aspects before we make decisions. It's just not about. It's not always newer is not always better, because you have to sit down and weigh the pros and the cons of it based on your country and your economics in your country and your infrastructures of your country. You have Roseau, the tourism. It's easier for tourists to enjoy Dominica coming through Kinfield. I remember some tourists used to complain, like when they come from Melvinal at the time, it was Melvinal Airport. They used to complain all the time on American, because they say they have to travel so far before they can see civilization. You know, I mean, we're not saying we don't have civilization, but when they come at night, it used to be extremely dark. The airport in Kenfield were more lit up. So when people come in like 6 o'clock and so on, even if in night coming around, it was always the area was bright because more houses and closer to the hotels and everything like that. So it did serve its purpose. And I don't think it should be abandoned. I think that we should find a way that to make it what it used to be before. I came into the Kenfield Airport all the time. Everybody was scared about they have some turbulence
yes,
just over the sea to coming in and to going.
yes, over Massa.
Yes, some turbulence.
Yes.
I used to be screaming my heads off, but
And,
nonetheless, it
and,
was right
and,
there.
the, and the big tree by Al Motors. And
Yes.
the houses in Mont Daniel. I know all about it.
So we have a lot of things that we have we have already that we could improve instead of abandoning. And so this is where team unity will come into to look at these things and to ensure that when we make a decision, it's for the greater good of our country and everybody included. Not just not just for doing it sake. But then again, Melvin Orwell, Douglas Charles Airport. I think they said that they just extended the runway, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they extended it recently, and I think they grooved it. I'm not sure if that part was done or it is in process of, or it has to be done. Well, Petra, we have another question from one of our viewers. She says that there exists a unique challenge in Dominica. There needs to be an increase in wages for government workers. However, government has difficulty meeting those demands because there are limited programs generating funds, and taxes can only do so much, particularly because the amount of taxes that can be generated from the small working population is very limited. How do you propose to address this issue? I want to take a short stab at that, and then
Yes.
I am pretty certain that Petra would come in and put the icing on the cake. Now, we have various opportunities that we are missing on. One, government may not want to actively take part in business activities,
Yeah.
but if the opportunities for government to make money, generate revenue for the country, I think these should be explored. One of the ways that we can look at is through the export of bulk water to the various other islands who would be needing those very same water that we have flowing into the sea 24/7.
Yeah.
That is one area, and that can be done immediately. Another area that we have to look at is the mass wastage of monies that is being spent in the public sector. So, for example, there's no reason for a prime minister, to be spending $64,000
$4,000 on the house.
or more for a house when he already has a house, where the state already provided a home for the prime minister, office for the president. Well, now the president has a new building that the previous building is already there, and there are other buildings that were provided for ministers of government in a secure area that is in the Monbrose area.
Yeah.
Now, granted, time has passed, and probably the house that that was there may need on repairs or whatever it is. I see no issue in the PM vacating that property for a period of time, and whether it be repair it or you decide to demolish it and build a brand new one, it would save the country so much more money than what is being spent for the past couple of years. If you do $64,000 times 12 times the amount of years that is being spent, the size of house we could have built for our prime minister in our country.
Exactly.
These are just a few of the areas. So all there are monies being spent in areas that I would not like to go into right now, but should not be, and that needs to be cut so that we can save on the amount of money that the government needs to spend on a monthly basis. Now, we need to look at our imports and our exports.
Exactly. Or GDP.
Improve our GDP. Why are we importing so much chicken? We spend every month millions of dollars in things such as these. What can we do to get that money to stay into Dominica? How can we get, for example, the monies that is sent overseas, remitted overseas every month, to be still remain in Dominica, when we can focus on our local people to make that money. That money circulating in the economy, more business, government raises more taxes through increased business revenue.
Yeah, I know the young lady she asked about the raising in pay, right?
Yes.
For me, I think one of the things is that the economy is not that large or improved to pay everybody or increase the pay, but government can give incentives. For example, I remember if you were working as a civil servant, you were granted a low income loan to build your own house, and you could get other assistance. It don't have to be monetary assistance with being able to get land and so forth. So we can do other things to help the public servants. And yes, the wages is kind of low in Dominica. But as you rightly say, Mr. Charles, if we improve and we implement different policies to help the person to help themselves, I feel that it will eliminate that struggle that people have right now. Because people are basically living from paycheck to paycheck, and paycheck sometimes don't even half time meets 2 weeks. By the time of 2 weeks comes, the little money that they're making, it's done.
Petra, before that money counted already.
Yes, so
that's counted already. So
yes, it's like you just get paid you're working for bills. Then you're really not making nothing.
So when you look at, for example, various sectors such as entertainment, it makes it difficult for those niche markets to make money. I mean, I just get a message from Miguel Labadie promoting one of his events, and he does his swing on a Thursday. That's the reggae night on a Thursday, and then there's this reggae night that's done in Portsmouth on a Wednesday. Yeah. Those sort of activities would suffer because persons are not able to use much money. They don't have so much disposable income to go.
Yes, that is
when you do your budget for the month, a fraction of that is after you pay your bills and you put your food together, your rent, your gas, because you have to go to
Work
work before
every
the
day.
month, your boss fee or whatever it is. That is when you're starting
And
to
if you
look
have
at
children too, you also have to
voila,
put something on the side for emergencies, because
voila.
so it's really difficult. And so we need to implement policies that are going to help the person to be able to help themselves. Like always giving some person have a job, duty-free concessions should be one of it. Like building materials. For me, if I am to do something like that, building materials for persons who have been in the public sector working for 10 to 15 years should get duty free to build a home. There is no need to have that person struggling to build a home. They have that because it would help the people wanting to stay in Dominica, because they know if I work 10 years in Dominica, after 10 years, I can get duty free to build my home. So in the 10 years time, they can purchase the land, they can pay off for the land and prepare themselves to be able to get that low income mortgage and still get duty free, where they could have their own home, get their own title, generate generational wealth, because that is what you want, generational wealth. You want people to leave something for their children, so the next generation, it would be easier for the next generation to live their lives. And that is where we come in. We really want to see people having the next generation be better off than them. So we will work. The monies might not be there immediately to increase the salary, but we will definitely develop policies and put things in place where persons can benefit from other monetary stuff that they could enhance their life.
Petra,
So
do you understand what a boom in the construction sector can do to the local economy? I mean,
yes,
we're talking about making things easier for Dominicans, but it doesn't mean that we're going to give away all the monies of the government and there's nothing to maintain the country.
exactly.
Obviously, everything has to be done within reason,
In proportion, yes.
with the right balance, so that everybody can benefit. But at the end of the day, it's about the people. It's
Yeah.
about the people
And
of the country.
I do believe, Mr. Charles, that if we implement policies that help people to become to create more entrepreneurs, we have less of that burden on us. Because what happening right now is that the government trying to employ so much people, because people need jobs and people go to school and they have nothing to do, and a friend of a friend, and they want to but they're not making anything,
It
putting
becomes a
anything in
burden on the
place.
state.
Exactly. You have to have the private sector have to be able to employ as much people as possible as well. So you have to put things out there to help the public sector to develop themselves in this economy so that they can employ more people. So you
Because
remove some burden on the states.
Petra, the government job really is not to employ people, I mean, yes, you can facilitate employment,
Yes, you need people because you have to
employment,
have the operation running, but the mass
but
population
government job is to create the environment for
for people to strive.
everything to run smooth. So just make
That's what
sure
it is.
everything, make sure you have systems in place, make sure everything is there and ready for Dominicans to thrive in,
Exactly.
and
So
they
if a
will work.
young person come from school and they want to start a automation shop, you have to have things in place that can help that person to start that shop and sustain it, because that is your job, to ensure that you put policies and in place that and regulations that your people in your country can strive on their own, even if they need a little boost from you, but they're not totally relying on you, so they don't become a burden on you.
So
They're not
now,
relying, because
Petra, with
one of the things Dominicans, human being, especially men are they're frustrated when they cannot provide for their family. Men are frustrated when they cannot provide for their family. And so we have to put things in place to have men be able to take care of their families. And I believe if we put things in place that will encourage people to become entrepreneurs, not just relying, going to school and say, when I finish, I'm going to work for the government, I'm going to work for this. No, we need, it's a whole cultural mindset. We need to change the people mindset. We need to have them, yes, we need to have them thinking, how can I make my life better, instead of saying, oh, the government will make my life better for me. So we come in to help change the people mindset. We coming up to the hour, so we know it's a lot to unpack of how we want to improve and impact the lives of the people, but also introducing skills back to the schools would really, really, really help with that as well.
Yes.
You know, masonry, carpentry, plumbing, electricals at high school level. If we implement these things, this will help people have a larger pool of what they want to do, to choose from.
And now, Petra, I went to what was then known as the Guru Junior High School, a school built by the government of Canada. Well, now it's been broken down and it's been rebuilt through assistance of the government of China. Thank you for that. At the time that I was going to school, the junior secondary program was popularly known as the JSP.
Yes.
It's a more skills oriented program. This built a lot of big businessmen in Dominica.
Yes, for sure, definitely.
Including the refrigeration, air conditioning,
that's right.
You know how hard it is to get a man to come and service your AC for you. These guys
my brother can service your AC for you when you're ready.
No, I'm just saying, and that's a nice plug there for your brother. Whenever we're ready, we can do that. All these things were created
to teach the children skills, like when they leave, they have something they can do.
All those big contractors around the place, a lot of them got their start through the junior secondary program.
I tell you, Portsmouth was great at Portsmouth as well. I think a lot of people on the north benefited from the JSP program that was happening at Portsmouth.
Not everybody.
My brother went to there as well.
Not everybody can be a doctor or want to be a doctor.
Exactly.
Some guys want to drive truck. Some guys want to run an excavator. Some guys
and then we have the seamstress. Some people want to go into sewing. Some people want to do the next level thing.
Some people want to be chef.
Some people want to be chef. So we have to make these things. Exactly. We really have to bring these things in the school to give children choices to choose from. And don't tell them, oh, you have to do maths, you have to pass maths, you have to pass English, you have to do. No, open them to a difference so that they can choose. Because we need everybody in life. If we had all doctors, scholars, where would it be? Who would be lower our house for us?
Who would be lower tables? Who would make the road?
Who would make the roads? So we need to bring these things back in into the school. And as we can see, we're rolling up in 2 minutes time. It's coming up to our hour. So we just want to ask the public to follow our page, to share, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And, keep the conversation going and join the Clean Slate campaign. We are here to help Dominica become better. And so we are not here to divide anybody. In contrast, we are here to bring everybody on board and to share our vision with everybody, because we have to stay in Dominica together. We are there together. And one of the things I am big on is cultivation of love. I think that we have divided ourselves so much that we lost love one for another. We go to church every day and we say the Bible, what we speak about God's word, love your neighbors as ourselves. But we have to love our neighbors in everything. And Team Unity is big on bringing back the love in the community, among the families, and among Dominica and extension in the Caribbean. But we are here to help. We are looking for people who have the same interests like us. So if you know somebody in your community that want to join the Clean Slate and Team Unity, our information information, I think Mr. Charles will put our information below, and you could reach out to us via email or telephone number. And let us make Dominica great again. I know people don't like to hear that, but let's make Dominica great again. That Dominica that we once had. Let us make it great again. Any last words, Mr. Charles?
Yeah, just want to say that if you want to reach out to us through our Facebook page, we have all the information on there. So it'll be very easy to click on us, and of course to reach out to us. Of course, you can always send a message, and we respond fairly quickly. And either one of us will respond fairly quickly. So that's no issues. Just want to join you in wishing our Princess Eva a special good evening, and of course her family as well. And I see that we're coming close to the end of the year, so it might be time that the students are doing their exams. So I
Yes,
want her and her fellow classmates
all the best.
all the best as they prepare to face those tough exams, and I pray that they do well. Petra, thank you for holding up the hosting duties, and we had a good time with you this evening.
Yes, and time flies when you're having fun. Oh boy.
Yes, it looked like we've been having too much fun. So thank you for the time.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night, people. Thank you, and join us another time.
There is nothing which is wrong with the country that a new government cannot fix. It is time for a new start, a fresh beginning, new direction, people-centered leadership. That's why Team Unity Dominica introduces the Clean Slate, a new political direction for the current political era. The Clean Slate, an idea built on new and progressive energies based on what is best for Dominica and Dominicans. The Clean Slate, the platform for a new and progressive political coalition. The Clean Slate, uniting the partisan colors with a message of renewal and hope.